Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron, I hope you're having a great day in Jesus. We're going to look at a little Masoretic text Bible from 1917. Pretty fascinating. Got this really inexpensive off eBay. Has this classic salmon red site. I really like that. I know like church Bible publishers, maybe local church, they're really inexpensive Bibles. They don't put the gilt edging. It's just red. I like the red on there. It is just really good. So this is the Holy Scriptures according to the Masoretic text, a new translation put out by the Jewish Publication Society of America. So this is the JPS, printed in the USA of America, 1917. And here's a preface, let you look at that. So this is 103 years old. Almost as old as me. No, I'm just joking. I'm only 54. But I can't tell if it's a glued binding or not. It's got an ancient ribbon marker in there. Ancient ribbon marker in there. So this is the JPS Bible, table of scriptural reading. So it's a Masoretic text in English. There's one really particular translation I want to show you in here that is so fascinating to me. The Masoretic text, the traditional understanding, Masoretes means scribes. They were in Tiberias around the 6th century AD, and they codified the text. In reality, the Masoretic text goes back at least to Ezra, and many people would say it goes back to Moses. It antedates that, and it would be in Paleo-Hebrew. It would be something that went from Paleo-Hebrew to Hebrew with the, Ezra. Most people would say that he is the one that kind of made that transition. And then you have like pointed Hebrew and unpointed Hebrew. And then you have Kier and Ketiv. Kier, that which is spoken, Ketiv, that which is written. Okay, so the translation I find so interesting is Genesis 1:1. It says, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. The King James Bible stands almost in opposition to all translations by translating Genesis 1:1, in the beginning God created the heaven, not heavens, and the earth. But now they were master Hebraists in the King James Translation Committee. And so I found it fascinating when you get to how the Hebrews translate their Bible. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. So in Isaiah, it's got this little birth, section and all this kind of things. Now, it's also set up kind of like a Hebrew Bible is set up, that, okay, you have the major prophets, Ezekiel, and then you're into like Zechariah, and then you're into Psalms towards the back. So it's not going to be set up like a traditional English Bible, 39 books, that kind of thing. So you get this, there's other Masoretic text, English translations out there, some of the newer ones, but this was kind of a monumental thing at the time. You see Ruth. And see, it's rather in paragraph format, which is how the originals would have been as well. Now, a lot of people, they contend back and forth that sometimes Jewish commentators and translators will deliberately mistranslate things to kind of translate any references to Jesus that may be in there and all that. So if that happened, I have not checked in this particular edition. I knew I had a friend of mine that was very interested in Hebrew, and her Hebrew teacher would do that to her. Be that as it may, just be that aware. I know there's like One for Israel Ministries online. It's got a huge following, and they point out several of those things as well. This is just a good reading Bible, and when you're going through English Bible translations, this is just some of them. And so I'd like at some point to do some comparisons. One of the fascinating things, like when Jesus said from upon you is going to come all the bloodshed, all the righteous bloodshed from Abel to Zacharias and A to Z. And it just so happens that the Jewish Bible ends with 2nd Chronicles, and so that's where Zacharias would be getting killed. So that's fascinating. It doesn't come with any type of concordance, anything such as that. Things in the front that tell you what this is. Let me just read you just a tad of this preface because I find it so interesting. It said, this statement with its universality tendency is, of course, a reflex of later times when the Hebrew scriptures have become a subject of curiosity and perhaps also of anxiety to the pagan or semi-pagan world. So I just find that fascinating that they knew where they were in the world scheme of things. I remember listening to Benjamin Netanyahu, which I know many of you may not like, but he's a world leader and has been for many years at the United Nations. And he was talking about Iran, and it's all about, Iran used to be called Persia, and we've always been friends with Persia, going back to the time of Daniel, the 3 Hebrew children, Cyrus letting us rebuild our temple. And it's this historical context. So not only a chronological context, but it seems like many times Jewish people have always had trust me, we live in such a time where you try to make designations and people are like, that's whatever. Look, I'm not trying to. The Bible often mentions the Jews. But anyhow, Jewish people, that they understood where they are in a historical context as well, and with the people of the world. So that's just a fascinating statement to me. So the Masoretic text in English from 1917 from the Jewish Publication Society, the Holy Scriptures. I love how they do that. They really reverence the Bible, put it up front in that synagogue. That's a good thing. God bless. Talk with you later in Jesus' name.